Hello and welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for yet another episode of DS Era, and who knows, maybe it's one of the last episodes, because apparently I have, maybe not the last episode right now, but one of the last episodes, because apparently I have like maybe 2 episodes more, something like around that. So I'm really excited what's going to happen, because, well, we just have a battle of gods between Ren, not Ren, goddammit, Ren is not even a god at this point. Between Reinhardt and Mercurius. Ren is too weak in this road basically to achieve what Reinhardt have. Like, Reinhardt is currently way stronger than Ren in the previous road. So I'm really curious where this is going. Where is Ren? Like, Ren couldn't get past through like Mari's Beach basically because he's too weak and he couldn't reach the throne. Also, the throne thing is not apparently really much explained or anything in this era. It's more in K3, which is not translated visual novel. It's another Masada game, and I really hope like it gets like at some point in future translated, or maybe I will just do like machine translating. I don't know. I would like to read this, but hard stuff. Anyway, let's just continue. Because the era is translated, so we can continue. So let's go. We have like Ren perspective now, right? We are going to learn where the fuck Ren is, finally. So let's go. When I came to, I found myself in a very peculiar place. Oh! Oh! He's in the Alfheim. I mean, they called it Alfheim. That looks like Alfheim. Right? He's like within Reinhardt Castle. Okay. Why would he be there? His soul got sucked out of his body with this clash? What happened? I found myself surrounded by the field of flowers. I must have been sent here after they decided I had no more business in the singularity. I mean, yeah, I guess like you matter very little at this point. For now, at least. I hope like he can like do something. I mean, like Ren is protagonist, so he must do some weird shenanigans, right? The place felt oddly real and so surreal at the same time, as if a single careless touch could make the whole thing fall apart. But above all... Oh! Oh, we actually met with Rhea here. I hope she's going to be okay. Oh my god, please. Please, let's not just grab her soul and let's just like go back. I mean, her body is still somewhere down there, right? Outside of Singularity, but we can still save Rhea technically, right? So Reinhardt is fighting Mercurius. They wanted to make it, basically. Isaac and Rhea want to do this as well. What about us though? Mercurius still wants Mari. Reinhardt and Mercurius still fought inside the Singularity. And this flower garden, a part of Glassheim, seems like an unfinished painting on the forgotten canvas. The reason it appeared so frail must have been because its master had been in the threshold of exhaustion. So... this place is outside of Singularity at this point? Like, Reinhardt went through the Singularity and left his castle and Isaac behind? Is that what happened? The two were equal in power, much like I expected. They would wear each other down to the utmost limit, like what happened with me and Shiro. After all, it was he who led me here, so obviously everything would end the way he predicted. Okay. Whoever wins, then we have to deal with the other one anyway. While having the obsidian table split and massacre each other was her plan all along. The main reason we had to retreat from the Singularity was to stop my dreadful ward from completely emanating. Otherwise, I would have probably had to die to cancel it. I couldn't do that. After all, I promised I'd spend the rest of my days with her. No point in winning if I died in the process. So I guess this was the only choice we had left. Yeah, but still, what if Reinhardt wins? He wants to, like, kill everything basically, including you. So you cannot be forever with her if you die. So we still have to deal with Reinhardt. Or with Mercurius if Mercurius win. If they are actually equal of power, I still think like Mercurius is way stronger. I don't think they are equal in power, are they? Are they? I have a feeling like Mercurius is like too old to just lose to Reinhardt somehow, you know?
先輩には感謝してる。俺一人じゃどうやってもここまで持っていけなかったよ。
But on the other hand, Reinhardt, if he's like commanders, demigods, right? Imagine Spine using his new powered up web to tie up Mercurius so they can make a finishing blow on him. Spine is important.
私だって同じだよ。藤井君がいなかったら、そもそもあの場所まで行けなかった。
Yep. That was the best way to kill the two birds with one stone. I felt bitter about having to rely on outside forces to do the dirty work for us. But putting aside my feelings, this really was the most effective way to deal with the situation. Yeah, true. You are too weak.
一人で片付けられるヒーローなんかじゃないから。
Yeah.
悪い癖はいい加減に直さないとね。
So we found Ren. Where's Mari now?
何でもかんでも俺がって突っ走れば解決するなら、誰とも手を取り合えなくなる。それがあいつらだ。ぶっ飛びすぎて世界なんか作るほどだし。
Yep.
俺はそんな座に興味ない。
Yeah, the problem is whoever out of them make the war, then you are in trouble anyway.
今の藤井君の方がよっぽど私から見ればヒーローっぽいよ。
おだてても何も出ませんよ。
いいよ、本音だもの。
The kind of evaluation was quite embarrassing, truth be told. In any case, we now had to literally leave all the rest to God. I hoped that the throne would be left in her capable hands. Oh wait, but so... Oh wait, so Mari went through Singularity actually? Together with Reinhardt? She's not here? So, Mari got separated from Ren and got sucked into Singularity together with Reinhardt? Or she fused with Reinhardt now? Wait, can like Reinhardt fuse with Mari? The fuck? In the meantime, we had to do what only we could. Himura seems to be in agreement. We both faced a certain spot in the flower field. Okay. Oh, there's Isaac. Okay. So you have to talk out Isaac now. To stop helping Reinhardt if Reinhardt wins, actually. I guess, right? Because if Reinhardt wins, then we cannot win, really. Because he's basically God at this point. But if Isaac is going to, yeah, like, sabotage him somehow, then we may still win, because Isaac is part of his power, right? Isaac, we still had to figure out what to do with him. Or maybe Isaac is not right now? No, if they're left behind, then Isaac is not part of Reinhardt's power now. So, okay. In Muddy Road, Reinhardt needed Isaac, basically, and he lost because he discarded Isaac. In this road, though, he's so powerful that he actually became a god, and he doesn't need Isaac anymore for anything. So Isaac doesn't matter anymore for Reinhardt's power at this point. So we are screwed. Huh. He definitely looked like a lot like Reinhardt, Sister Lisa's son and Himura's grandfather, huh? I couldn't imagine the boy would let us go just like that. Although calling him a boy might not be the most fitting word to use. Yeah, okay, but I'm still not exactly sure if we are inside Reinhardt or we outside of Singularity. But maybe we are still inside. and he's part of it, so I will see. Okay, I would say sorry.
お前たちの思惑など泡沫ですらない絵空事だよ。いずれ穴より溢れ出るベルトールに飲み込まれ溶けるのみだ。
Okay.
求心など少子。言ったろうテレジア。私は誰も逃がさない。すべてを愛す。そう。父様と同じように。
Isaac, after all, was merely a cog in the Reinhardt mechanism. He cooperated with us to create the situation as long as our goals considered, but it was all done to fulfill his father's craving. He would never join our side. Then what should we do? Fight him? I didn't know whenever that was even possible. Not to mention I knew nothing of his powers, which made me hesitate. Yeah, does he even have any powers? Outside of like commanding the castle, I guess? And if we killed Isaac right here and now, Reinhardt powers would doubtlessly take a significant hit. If we messed up the timing, Mercurius would survive. Okay, so he actually still is. He actually still matters in terms of power. So basically Mercurius doesn't have any weak spot really. And Reinhardt weak spot is Isaac. So Mercurius is superior anyway. But yeah, they're like equal power because of Isaac. Okay, so we are apparently still inside of Reinhardt right now. It seems. So we are actually in the singularity. But if we hesitated for too long, he might try to swallow us on the spot. After all, Reinhardt would receive a significant boost in power if he absorbed me. I guess. Yeah, because you are pretty fucking strong. And Agner Bear of Mercurius. Retreat, advance, flee, fight. However, as I struggle with the maelstrom of conflicting emotions.
私たちと来ない？イザック。
They are taking initiative. He more blurted out something truly mystifying. It seems to have rendered even Isaac speechless. Well, of course it did. I couldn't even fathom where the train of thoughts came from her.
だってあなたは私のおじいちゃんなんだもの。
Ah, that's cute. That's a young grandpa. Yes, she went on, acting as if she had merely stated the obvious. We could only stand and stare at her as she continued with absolute conviction, her tone lacking any hint of hesitation.
私は藤井君のことが好き。ずっと一緒にいたいと思ってる。血筋とか立場とかよくわからない引力とかそんなのどうでもいいくらい彼が好き。
Ira is extremely open
結婚したいの。
today. I like it. Mary?
式には来てほしいし、子供が生まれたら抱いてほしい。よければ名前だって考えてよ。みんなに愛される子供になるように。
Ira is actually awesome. Wow.
リザにも同じ約束をしたけれど、彼女は今ここにいない。あの人も神父様もハイドリヒ教を倒して子供たちを解放する道を選んだから。本当の天国に行こうとしてるから戻ってきてほしいけど、もう自分たちはもう普通の人の一生分はとっくに生きたってきっと言う。だけどねえイザーク、あなたは誰も殺してないじゃない。
That's actually a good point. He never actually killed anyone because even though, like, for example, Sakura, he actually attacked Sakurai, right? And he basically dusted her. But technically her soul is still inside the castle in this case, right? So she's not like dead. She's still like somewhere around here, for example. So true, he never actually killed anyone. Huh, good point.
年だってまだまだ普通な感じじゃない。たった60歳とちょっとでしょ。
Wow. This is how 60-year-old people looks like. Isaac is like tell me your secret. I need to be like eternally young.
だから私の家族になって新しくできる家族を一緒に祝って。あなたがこのままずっとこのままだなんて私。
So she's trying to basically tell him that I am your family basically as well, and Ren will be your family too. And Trifa and Lisa tried to save her, and both decided to actually defeat Reinhardt. So she suggested like maybe you should actually see through your father and help us and like be part of the family, something like this. It will be too hard on her.
一緒に行こうよおじいちゃん。
Aww, not calling him Isaac anymore. Faced by her tearful appeal, Isaac froze in place. He merely closes his eyes, answering the girl in his unchangingly flat tone.
何を言っているのか理解不能だ。やはりお前の頭は劣悪だな、テレジア。本当に黄金の血を継いでいるのか。疑わしくなるほどに一言くだらん。それ
でも
クラフトの代替、お前もそう思うだろう。この娘の頭には他者の都合というものがそっくり抜け落ちているらしい。
What did Himuro and I suddenly sense in that moment? As our ears were playing tricks on us, there seems to be a slight hint of the gentleness in his voice.
ああ、前言を撤回しよう。やはりお前は我々の血筋だよ。
Okay.
他者など知らぬ。己の意のままにしか振る舞わぬ。口に出すのは決定事項で、反発があろうとねじ伏せる。まったく面倒な娘に見込まれたものだな。覚悟した方がいい。逃げられんぞ。
じゃあ
され。もはや流出はなされた以上、蜜月刹那に過ぎんがな。父様が勝利し、溢れる黄金に飲まれるまであと数分もなかろうが好きにしろ。
Okay, so he basically admits like they want to be together and stuff, but he still wants to do his thing. So until Reinhardt wins, he's like not going to touch them, but he's not going to help them anyway as well. But he let them go basically from this place. So he's sure like Reinhardt will catch up to them later. I mean, if he wins, then yeah, he will just emanate and like kill everything. So with the heart beating in earnest, the room was no longer necessary. As long as he remained here, all would be well. He exhaled a silent breath.
この場で俺たちを見逃
Yeah, pretty much.
そうだ。しかし勘違いはするなよ。ここでお前を飲み込むために力を割けば、父様を窮地に追いやりかねん。うまくやれば必勝を決定づけるのだろうが、あまりにも博打が過ぎる。
You have a good point actually here.
選択ではない。
Because I think like I mean, Ra is sullen kind, so he's aware of that. She's not as strong as him in that like, I guess like, willpower abilities, because more against sullen kind is mostly willpower, I guess. And with Ren, he recognized that he fought with Reinhardt before, and Ren is probably able to win against Isaac as well. Because Isaac is, I think, significantly weaker than Reinhardt in his third degree. Anyway, yeah, that's like, Isaac have a good point here.
それに言ったろ。黄金は負けん。私はそれを信じている。今さらお前たちごときどうなろうと知らんよ。邪魔をする気がないのなら座して死を待てばいい。
I have a feeling like when Reinhardt will start losing, he's going to actually fight us because he will try to swallow us and boost up Reinhardt in the last moments.
では。
He turned around to leave, but before he could, Himuro called out to his back, momentarily stopping him.
待って、ダメなの？本当に来てくれないの？
くどい。
The answer came in cold, machine-like voice. In that moment, however, Isaac was...
これも何度となく言ったろ。私は全てを愛している。故に。
His impregnable mask, like face relaxed. Oh, he smiled!
無論、お前を愛しているよ。その道に幸あれ。
Oh, this smile actually gave me chills. Holy shit. I never thought I would see Isaac smiling. If you think about this, he inherited his father's will, basically, like craving for loving everything, but not in the same way as well, because love means something different for Reinhardt than for him. Makes sense. It seems almost impossible to perceive. Yet what happened next was definitely not a mere figment of our imaginations.
ヨハンも母様も私は憎んでなどいない。
He finally opened up. We finally get
家
emotions.
族なのだから。
Oh my god. That's a sudden change. Good job, Rhea. A faint, somewhat bashful smile graced his lips. An ephemeral, it seemed to almost melt into the rose-tainted air, like freshy fallen snow.
ああ、では行きましょう、父様。この世をグラズヘイムに塗り替えるため。
Okay. So he's letting them go. But he's going to join Reinhardt in the fight, basically.
どこまでも。
Yeah.
どこまでも。私はあなたのそばにいる。未来永劫。永遠に、共に。終わらない地獄へと。
They would transcend the day of wrath. Her outstretched hand grasped only air. Accompanied by the fierce, rose-stained gale, Isaac vanished from sight. And? Oh.
なんだか私すごいバカみたいなんだけど
I love this. Willow remained standing in the middle of the fading flower
ほ
garden.
んと頑固じじいって感じだよねあんな顔して
I know, right?
可愛くないっていうかきっとあれだよ今頃一升瓶抱えてやけ酒煽ったりしてるんだよ目に浮かぶか
Basically, Rhea tried to save him, but he refused. Because he, I would say, love and trust his father more than anything, because it's his father. Wow, Isaac got actually like truly complicated like emotional level of development here. But he still recognized Ren and Rhea as his like family basically, and everyone else that died already. Oh my god. Everything that happened from this point onward was up to their impulses.
逃げられちゃったまた私逃がしちゃったよリザも神父様も
Oh no.
綾瀬さんもユサ君も結局全員こぼしちゃったよ誰も救い取ってあげられなかったよ
Ren is still here.
俺も
I too had lost everything. Our futures remained vague and
どう
uncertain.
しようどうなるんだろう私怖い怖いよ待ってるしかできない見ることもできないいつどうなるのか何も本当にわからないねえこれってどうなの私たち全然決まってないよなんか脇役カップルだよこんなんでハッピーエンド来るのかなそれでいいと思えるのかな私わからなくて怖いからもっと
I didn't need to be told. I was already holding her in my embrace, tight enough to the point I feared I might crush her. I tried suppressing her shivering, if only by force. Everything depends on the conclusion of Reinhard Mercury's battle. We couldn't do anything but wait, completely powerless to influence it. Yeah, that suck.
信じよう。
Where's Mari? I had the questions where's Ren, now where's Mari?
何を私どちらの勝ちも信じたくない。
Yeah, either of them win, we lose.
相打ちになるのも都合が良すぎて。
Yep,
だから
that's what you had to believe. I spoke up with so much force and I could almost feel my throat tearing.
俺たちが選んだ道を思い描いてる未来をさっき言ってたろ。結婚するんじゃないのかよ。
Nice. She declared it as the fact without even asking for my opinion. If she was so certain about that, then why I feel so uncertain and hesitant about the future now?
口だけかよ先輩。イザーク笑わせるためだけにギャグ言ったんじゃないだろうな。
違うけどでもさ。
ほんと結構くどいよな。
She is.
先輩は
I held her even tighter.
もっと明るいことを考えよう。例えば熊本行って地獄巡りして。
地獄巡りは大分だよ。
And they're back to their old
あ
selves.
れ
Nice.
そうだっけ。
絶対わざと間違ってるよね。くどいのは藤井くんの方だよ。
Well, I couldn't come up with another way to make her laugh. I wasn't born a comedian. This thing hardly even counts as a joke. But that didn't really matter.
とにかく熊本旅行のことでも考えよう。今度はトリップじゃなくてちゃんと温泉入って阿蘇山見て浴衣姿の先輩とかすごい見たい。
I would love to see her in Yukata as well.
エッチだね。
Okay, Rea.
でもだったら混浴だといいかも。
Aww.
いや俺は他の野郎に先輩の裸を拝ませる気ないし。
Aww. Ren, you're fucking awesome.
じゃあ水着つけるよ。
それだと俺が嬉しくないし。
Oh my god, I love this conversation.
面倒な子だね。
That is so good. I love it. She finally made a smile, though it lasted only a moment.
前の時邪魔者はいらないとか言っちゃったけど
Yeah?
今すごく後悔してるよ。みんなで一緒に行きたかった。その罪悪感が消えないの。
Yeah.
それは
分かってる。藤井くんだってそうでしょ。
I know that without uttering another word. We could no longer aspire for the perfect finale. The path we walked had been enveloped by the constant shadow and was littered with several holes and fissures.
自分たちだけなんとかなりそうな可能性があるから失敗は棚にあげよう。そんなの私の好きな藤井くんじゃない。
俺だって
I felt the same. The Rahimura I felt in love with wouldn't think that way.
だから面倒だよね私たち。幸せになれないかもしれないよ。
You will figure it out.
イザークにはああ言われたけど。
Yeah, he did, in a sense.
ねえ藤井くん、それでも幸せにしてくれるって。
Rather than words, I answered with actions. Ah. Good job, Ren. I claimed her lips with a savage greed, to prove she belonged to me, and I to her. The initial surprise made Himuro grow all stiff, but little by little her shoulders relaxed, and she answered my lips. The melting heat of her tongue made my whole consciousness go numb.
もういきなりすぎ。私まだ話してる途中だったのに。
先輩の話聞いてるとなんかすごい約束されてそうで。
Nice.
イザークも言ってたろ。覚悟した方がいいって。
ひどいよ。私を何だと思ってるの？
I ignored the sulking tone of her
あ
voice.
と前にこのケースでキスできなかったから。
That is true. When we lost Kasumi and the others,
そんなことはないって証明。それと
But this time, I was the one being interrupted.
絶対だよ。絶対。もうあんなことはないって約束。逃がさないから。私、藤井君、ずっと捕まえてるから。
Yeah, Ra can be very persistent.
お願い。私を離さないで。
He won't let her go. With each passing minute, the hour of judgment drew closer. There was no telling how all that would end. Whatever happened inside the singularity wouldn't affect this side of the world. As such, even if Reinhardt vanished over there, Rhea wouldn't be sucked down to wherever he went. She might have been a part of the castle now, but being outside the hall in Cosmos, she was safe from his dominion. Okay, so this answers my questions from before. So they're actually outside of the singularity, they got pushed away. Also, Isaac went through singularity right now to join Reinhardt, but he left the castle in the hands of Rhea, basically. She's the summoning kind that command the castle at this point, right? It's probably significantly weaker because Isaac probably took most of it with him, the most of this power. But they are outside. Okay. So even if he dies, Reinhardt is not part of the castle anymore. Okay. Similarly, the world would remain in existence even if Mercurius perished over there. This world. So this is alright, because this is like another dimension, basically. Right. Yeah. So even if Mercurius wins, they are hidden in like another dimension. But Mercurius can enter this domain as well, right? Anyway. I mean, he can go whenever he wants. Probably. Maybe. But there was one thing I kept from her. If Mercurius, the master of the throne, disappeared, it was very likely that everything connected to him would share the same fate. Yeah. You are his substitute and you are his Agner Bear. Yeah. That would suck. If you think about this, last time Mercurius never died. Last time Mercurius survived. I never actually thought about this, that Ren might disappear when Mercurius dies. I assumed he would be safe, because he's like separate being. Oh. That would suck. For example, his copy or shadow or whatever it was could very well perish alongside the old order. But I couldn't tell her. There was no way in hell I could confess that to Himuro. It was sheer conjecture of my part, true. Besides, it wasn't like I could really do anything about this, yeah. So for now, she was right. We needed to believe in the future we both saw. And in her, who was still out there. Okay, so Mari is not with them here. I was asking where is Mari. So Mari went through the hole actually. In the world of Mari. Oh, okay, never mind. She's like in the beach. In the world of Mari, the girl I felt was the most fitting claimant to the throne. I will believe in and pray for her safety. Okay. So is it Mari's? Who is this perspective? So Ren and Rhea is chilling in the castle right now, waiting for the end, basically. So they think that whoever will win, because they feel like they lost everything already, right? All the friends, families, like everything. So they have only each other. So they are like fine with just living in that place forever, like the rest of their lives in that castle, basically. Like the castle is part of Rhea now. So Rhea, I think, cannot leave the castle anymore since Isaac left this, because we need something kind to operate it, right? I think. And Ren basically stays there just for her. And there's like a danger of him disappearing if Mercurius actually dies. which we still don't know if that actually is the case or not. But yeah, they can only just live there. And Mari got actually pushed through the singularity to the beach, it seems. So she's alone. What is she going to do? Maybe I will end episode here and just do like extra episode or something. For how long had he saw this outcome? How many eternities had he passed before arriving here? Oh, he. How many times did he fight, laugh, and die? At the aftermath of multiplying eternity by infinite number, he still sought to attain the same conclusion as every other time. Oh! Huh? Mercurius? Did Reinhardt just off-screened you? The hell? Okay, that's new. He could see the pieces of the omnipotent throne drift above him. He made a worried smile, surrounded by the lights of the countless twinkling stars. He would reaffirm his own ineptitude each time he reached this point. He had long since lost count of how many times he felt this. Wait, so he... Wait. What do you mean? You mean you lost many times before? Or you mean like... the outcome wasn't just Mari killing you?
違うのだよ、ハイドリヒ。私とお前が争ったところで基地は破蓮。
Okay.
これが私の回帰点だ。何もなせず、なそうとせず、己が自滅の因子と食い合い、消える。それが気に食わぬと言ってまた同じことを繰り返す。
So... I mean, he forgot his craving, so... What would I die without having achieving anything? So I repeat it all from the beginning. So basically, he's like... His craving, like... We know that his craving is basically to die by Mari hand, so... And it seems like he can repeat stuff. And foreknowledge and things. So is he like going, like refreshing the time basically? When like there's like some kind of final battle and this is like not the outcome he wants, and he knows that after this battle I cannot get this outcome, so the time gets resetted or something like that. So he's like in the time loop.
何度やっても懲りんものだ。予感はあったのだがな。
Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which moment in time marked the true birth of the foreknowledge? Even this place denied him the answer, and so he would repeat it, all till the day he found it. At one point he realized that he knew everything. When was it in his mother's womb that he found there was nothing new or surprising in the world? And so he struggled for an eternity. What was this? What kind of phenomenon was tormenting him? Why could he not die? This is interesting. He basically wants to die like... Wow, this is more complicated than I thought. He wants to die in general. But his craving not letting him, because his craving is to die by Mari hands. So even though he wants to die by like any means, if he dies at any point, he would just be resetted. And it seems like he's like being resetted or reincarnated or whatever, however like his powers works. Basically means that he's getting reborn. Wasn't in mother's womb that he found that there's nothing new. So he's actually being born and growing older and grew older. He's still having the same body and stuff. But he's like getting like from the kid and moving on. Oh. He had enough time. He might never have been exactly normal, but after thousands of years, even a dog could attain transcendence. The gold itself had once told him that one could go around the world once or twice, if they only never stopped moving. He attained to a knowledge of all things in the cosmos, figured out the existence of the throne, and the nature of the phenomenon tormenting him. So this craving is like... So his craving is not technically be killed by Mari. He's suggesting here that he's like that from before he attained the throne. He's being resetted and like maybe not resetted. I don't know. Anyway, he's being like reborn or something. Much like before he became a god. So his like true craving that he forgot already is not die by Mari hands. Like dying by Mari hands is like his like kind of recent thing, from few hundred years ago when he's been Cagliostro. So what's his true craving then, like from the very beginning, that kept him from dying? Huh. Apparently at one point, he was the one to utter the phrase, "Let there be light." He had no recollection of presenting Moses or anyone else with the 10 Commandments, but he was certainly an entity of that caliber. Okay? It was beyond ridiculous. Not even children entertained fantasies of such a preposterously grandiose scale. I thought worthy of megalomaniac, whose madness and ignorance had been multiplied a billion times over. Yet the moment he came up with this theory, he realized one other thing. When did this body of mine disappear? He could vaguely remember the curse of the foreknowledge in his mother's womb and killing his family at a young age. The hell? But he could not remember a single instance of actually possessing a body made of flesh and blood. When did his life as a shade begin? When did others become unable to perceive his true form? He was but a proxy, while the real him remained the center of the throne, wishing in zealous madness for the certain something. Yeah. So, technically... That's another thing that actually I forgot. I mean, it was not clear, okay? Because we had like true form of Mercurius right here, right? It was apparently true form, like it was supposed to be a throne. But it seems like this is still just a proxy. Just like small Mari in Mari Road. And like true Mercurius is basically the being in the whole cosmos, so he doesn't have any form. So Mercurius is invincible, basically. How do you kill a god and take the throne? What? I'm trying to comprehend the scale here. And so he created his proxy to gather information for him. Once he realized the truth, he became a mere shade. After understanding he was never strictly human, he also realized he could move more freely without being constrained by the limits of a body. There were countless things he had yet to try at that point. 10,000 years passed. Oh, 10,000. Then another 10,000 before they reached the present day. Yet nothing truly changed. So he's 20,000 years old, basically. He believed his craving to be a means to escape from foreknowledge. Also, this is 20,000 years since he created the proxy. He's much older. Even Marin the time to create proxy. Naturally, he realized the contradiction contained within that very train of thought. He lamented the accursed phenomenon to no end, yet it persisted as the law governing the world that his own original self had once unleashed upon the universe. Yeah, and you have no idea why you are trapped in this universe, even anymore. In short, he simply grew tired of it all. Yep. Like I said, he's just getting like tired of everything and he wants to die. He had long since lost count of the years, yet in his mortal days, he must have possessed a vulgar and night-bound thirst for knowledge. He wishes to know everything, and ultimately emanated a world in which all was known to him. That was most likely what transpired. Huh, so he wanted the eternal knowledge then? To know actually everything? Okay. So basically he's if this, like, because this is like most likely, it's not like 100%, but if that was actually his craving, then I guess he wasn't like really specific how he wanted to attain the knowledge. Because seems like his craving was unable to give him a knowledge just like, you know, just like that. Just like, yeah, pick and you know everything. It gave him knowledge by extending his life forever and letting him experience everything forever. Wow. That's like true genie shenanigans. Where it all began mattered little. He was foolish beyond measure, a hapless clown eternally tormented by his own flesh, own wish. He believed it to be his mission, to perish alongside his foolish world, to put his farce to an end once and for all. A colossal lack of prudence, a misconception to surpass all others, and every single time, only upon arriving here, would he finally see the truth. The universe itself must have laughed at his misery. Okay. Unsatisfied with the outcome, he craved to repeat it, all once more, till that zealous desire was extinguished from his heart. The eternal recurrence would not cease. Yeah. Enough. He'd grown weary. Let it all end. If only he could admit defeat here, he would be able to wither away in peace. Yeah, he's probably telling himself this all the time. One more time, just one more time. He had the syndrome of one more level. He remained foolishly unable to discard that single wish. Mari, huh? And so yet another emanation would begin, now for the millionth time. He would return to his mother's womb, to avoid this finale, tormented by the poison of foreknowledge all along the way. Time did not exist for the throne. It would not reject the contradiction of him emanating in the world he had already emanated. I never thought about that, but this is kinda a contradiction. He's painting again over the paint he made already. I never thought about that. It truly was the very definition of the chicken and the egg dilemma. The utterly ridiculous position of lamenting for knowledge, even upon the seat of all creation. His soon to emanate craving would only serve as the under prison. What was he, if not a clown, shunned by fate? He would willingly retreat, as the path laden only with torment and anguish. How he wished to erode into nothingness. How he wished to be able to close his eyes and expire. Or perhaps he would spend the rest of eternity with his sworn friend. He must have been drifting alongst this space as much like him. So, did they just take each other out? like both of them. But still, like Mercurius says, like it doesn't matter. Like Mercurius is going to resurrect anyway. How is it like? Yeah, like I think like yeah, Mercurius is just special case. How can you kill a god anyway? Like if like Mercurius wouldn't have the power of like this like recurrence, right? Like basically repeating everything again. How can you kill him? How can you get the throne? If like this bot is just a proxy and he's like somewhere like on a higher dimension level, how do you reach him anyway? He can just create another proxy later. If like he wouldn't like, you know, having like recurrence and stuff. He would be like some other god. Or something. How did he manage to get the other god out of his throne?
どこにいるハイドリヒ。今のうちに私を殺さねば元の木阿弥だぞ。私を破壊するのだろう。破壊してくれよ。自分では死ねない。
Yeah.
私はつまらぬ男なのだ。行く道が地獄と知りながら歩を止められん。ゆえに、なあ頼む友よ。早く私を。
Despite praying for someone to rescue him from his torment, he nonetheless proceeds to emanate. His true craving was obstinate beyond imagination. There was nothing he could do to stop himself.
6日。では晩年を数度超えた先でまた会おう。
In another 1,000 years. Okay, so he's not resetting time. Okay. He's not resetting. He's like painting everything again, resetting himself, creating a new proxy in the current new world. And just like keep going, basically. In 1,000 years. So is his emanation taking 1,000 years, basically?
私はお前を見つけ出す。ゆえに、お前も私に気づいてくれ。
Yeah.
次に我が望みが外れた時、今度こそは殺してくれよ。
And with that aspiration rooted deep within his heart.
許されよ。愛しの女神。
Yeah.
次こそは。
But as his eyelids began to close.
そうやってあなたはまた私たちをもてあそぶの？
Okay, Mari is actually with them there. Okay. Mercurius finally interacting with Mari. And he's on the verge of death. Maybe it's possible for him to stop emanating now. Maybe Mari can just like embrace him in his last moments and that will be enough. Maybe Mercurius is actually going to die in the embrace of Mari. Or maybe Mari will stop Mercurius from emanating, and as she embraces him, like she embraced other people in the previous road, maybe Mercurius is going to be reborn as a normal human being without foreknowledge. That would be fucking cool, if you think about this. So, let's see where this is all going. Is Mercurius actually going to die? Is Reinhardt going to emanate? Is Reinhardt dead? Like, is Mari going to emanate? Let's see. Yeah, just so you can toy with our lives again. He heard the voice of the girl. Oh. She's actually here. I don't know if I should like censor this or not, but I don't think it's censored. I mean, it's like slightly visible, but maybe I don't have to touch it. That one word made the emanating man body retain its shape. Wow. Above in cosmos. Actually beautiful CG. Okay. He started her in a speechless way, failing to comprehend what had just occurred. This aftermath was not known to him. It's finally time. He found himself overwhelmed by the surprise, like a young boy experiencing a certain feeling for the first time.
何？私が来たらいけなかった？
Oh my god. I love her. Oh my god, this is so good.
いや、しかし。
Yeah, like, what? Get trouble forming words. Anyone who knew him would realize this was no normal occurrence, and in truth, that was precisely the case.
君は自己の世界に帰ったのではないのか。
To the beach world, yeah. He believed that the girl had returned to her realm of twilight upon being ejected from the singularity. A hegemony could emanate, but in but single hue. To Mercurius, that color could belong to only one, and for that reason, Ren and Reinhardt had to disappear. If their battle would fail to end in their mutual death, the Separate himself would need to take the stage and make things right. The realization struck him like a lightning bolt, that this very action of his would be the origin of the eternal recurrence. He would then plummet into despair, scoring himself, choosing to repeat it all from the beginning once more. And so the serpent's miserable existence would conclude, or rather, it should have happened that way.
私、あなたに怒ってるんだから。
Wow. Wow. The girl furrowed her brows in an expression of adorable indignation.
みんないなくなっちゃった。みんなダメになっちゃった。そんなこと繰り返させたりなんかしない。
Yeah.
だからやりたいことをやるの。ずっと役に立たなかった私ができることをやりたいように。
How that happened that last time Mercurius survived and he didn't emanate? I kind of forgot. Was it because he just like let Mari emanate over him? Even though he wanted to die? I'm not sure. Can you remind me in the comments? How did that happen?
あなたの思い通りになんかさせないんだから。言ったでしょ？怒ってるんだって。私はもう誰も辛い目に遭わせたくない。レンやかすみやシロや先輩、みんなの気持ち、みんなの願い守って、二度とこんなことがないように。
Then what? It took Mercurius a couple of seconds to understand what the word implied.
ああ。
As he came to, he realized that tears had been flowing down his cheeks. Oh my god. Mercurius is crying. Oh my god, the death must mean so much to him. I mean, we know that, like, this is like eternal torment for him, basically, but holy damn, like, the way of, like, the feeling of relief that he has right now.
何？
The one to be assailed by confusion this time was Mari. Yeah, she doesn't know how he feels. She didn't know what to do in front of crying man. Didn't seem like tears born of bitterness or sorrow, nor pain, nor suffering. Yeah, he's happy he can be ended. There were tears of joy then, but why?
私、あなたの邪魔をするって言ってるんだよ。
Not exactly his plans. He just doesn't have a choice. She wasn't exactly hoping to plunge him into despair or hear him scream in agony. Agony or angry or not, Mari was incapable of being anywhere near as vindictive. It was in her nature to be kind, and besides, she truly hated the man. He caused the tragedy, but without him, she would have never found herself here. She would have never met Ren and others. Frustrating as it might have been to admit it, that was the truth of the matter. And that was why she hoped the man would understand her indignation, her feelings, everyone's feelings, everything he had done. She didn't came here to place him.
ああ、わかる。よくわかっているよ、マルグリット。だが、許してくれ。これが私の偽らざる本音だよ。
He declared it proudly, like the poet presenting his finest piece, that usual tone of false courtesy slipping back into his voice. He made a smile, as if to show he had nothing to regret.
君に抱かれて死にたかった。
Yeah. That was the very finale he hoped to attain through an eternity of repetitions.
この時だけを夢見ていた。
As such, he could not acknowledge another conclusion.
ありがとう。君の望みは私の望みだ。すべてを託そう。新世界の女神よ。
Mercurius finally got his wife home to embrace him.
不満もあろう
Well,
が。
not yet, but
だが、いやおうもあるまい。
I mean, she have a choice. But if she does not kill you, then it will just emanate and start everything again. Yeah, that's kind of predicament. Unless we do some shenanigans like in the previous road and she emanate and you're still going to be alive. I kind of, like I said, I kind of forgot why that happened. Not exactly sure. I think like he just like step down, I guess, from the throne then, and like let her, just let her, I guess, right? Just decided to like let her do this.
私を放置すればお望み通り絶望しよう。だがその断末まで永劫回帰が流れ出す。それでは困ろう。
Being ridiculed by the sarcasm in Mercurius' eyes and tone, Imani cast her gaze downwards as her shoulders began to tremble. And then she
あなたって
smiled at him like the flower in bloom.
最低の人。
よく言われる。
He truly was beyond all help. Whenever he lived or died, whenever he succeeded or failed, he would always end up causing trouble for someone else. One could not find a bigger scoundrel in the entire universe.
君と過たず出会うため、ただそれのみを渇望して私は回帰する断りを流れ出させた。一本道ゆえに結末を変えるのは困難を極めたが、何度失敗してもいい。地獄の苦痛に擦り切れても構わない。それでも私はマルグリット、君に出会わない可能性を生み出したくはなかったのだ。出会うことなくすれ違うなと。
I'm still very curious, when like I said, I probably said it in the previous episode, or maybe actually it's in this one. I don't know how I cut this, actually, because I started a new episode with intro and stuff, but maybe I will just like stitch it together. I don't know what I will do with these recordings, to be honest. Like I said, like if he's like 20,000 or years more like old, and he was like recurring anyway, then dying from Mari embrace, it's been the case only in like few hundreds years, I guess, when he's been Cagliostro. So what kept him from dying basically before? If like his like whole purpose was like to find Mari, like killing him, then what kept him from dying previously, before he met her? That's my question here. He probably doesn't even remember.
そんな生は一度たりとも経験したくない。君と出会う。ただそれだけが唯一私の愛した基地。この終わりにたどり着くまで何度でも感じたいと思った刹那の記憶なのだから。
She could call him an annoying pest or creep, but he wouldn't mind. He merely stayed true to his craving, and in the mere moments he would attain the end he prayed for. There was hardly a thing to feel embarrassed about at this point. As such, he wished to tell her one more time.
あなたに恋をした。
The girl remained oblivious to how vigorously that supposedly inert heart of the shadow beat in that moment.
あなたにひざまずかせていただきたい。花よ。
My
い
goddess,
ずれ必ず。
he swore to
あなたを解き放ってみせると誓う。
free you. Interesting. He would have no doubts, for he knew she was destined to be the goddess to embrace the new world.
この私に終焉をくれ。
Oh wow. And this time she actually agrees. She didn't actually kill him last time. She was close to killing him, to touching him, but she did not. So she's actually going to end Mercurius this time? Mari nodded before, slowly reaching out to embrace the worn out man.
でも勘違いはしないでね。勝ったのは私たち。頑張って傷ついて、それでも折れずに立ち上がって、この結果を勝ち取ったのはレンたちの力。
Yeah, you better thank us.
あなたにそれだけは分かってほしいの。
ああ、君らが最高の役者だったよ。ゆえに幕を下ろす時だ。
The jester who had remained upon the eternal throne for an infinity.
アクタエストファブラ。
Finally ended his life in the arms of his beloved songstress. Wow! He himself had once said it. If one craved for the final that would bring happiness to everyone, they could not afford to waste time on the naive dreams of the young and fair. Only at the end of the road paved with failures and misery could a truly incandescent final be reached. Mari knew that much herself. It was precisely her inability to touch anyone during her life that made the throne alone her affectionate craving to envelop the whole world. Wow, that's... Okay, I never thought about that. That her craving let her embrace everyone because she never could touch anyone, basically. And that's why she craved for embracing everyone. Because not even once she could touch a person before. I didn't thought about that this way. That was the one and true ending to the story. She would embrace the world with kindness, making sure that none of this could happen ever again. Wow. So Reinhardt's dead. Mercurius dead. That was a transient illusion. Why? An event birthed in the fleeting moment when foreknowledge had already faded and the new world stood on the brink of emanation. What happened? In the center of the omnipotent throne, soon to paint the new world anew, Rai experienced a dream one could only label as impossible. Okay. Oh, what the hell? The fuck is happening? Huh? Where are we? In the center of the front, the soon to paint the water new race. What is happening? Why Rhea is with Reinhardt? What is she even wearing? What is this dress? She have a Ren scarf. What? Well, Victoria belongs to us, I guess. Maybe I will just cut here and finish the episode here. You know what? Just in case, we'll see in the next episode. Maybe I actually made 2 episodes after this. Maybe, probably actually 2. I think this is better place to end than I wanted to end Or I will see. That seems like that's a good idea. Seems like Mercurius is done, but what about Delusion? Where are we now? Why we have like... Well, maybe I'm like 5 minutes to the end. I don't even know. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you everyone for being with me. I will see you in the next one. Leave a like if you like the episode, subscribe for more, check my Discord, become a member if you'd like to support me, and see the episodes later. And yeah, thanks for watching. And see you in the next one. So for now, Pocket Watch is going out.